And now something a little bit to boost your mood. Here's Sean Stackhouse. He's got our pet of the week.
On this week's Fetch Me Home, we're back at the Bangor Humane Society with Catherine Ravenscraft Jay. And who do we have with us today?
This is Booth. This is Booth the Chocolate Lab. He has been with us for several months. And for those folks that might be on our mailing list or who get our emails, they have seen very recently Booth's story, which is that he came in as a stray. He was picked up by a couple of wonderful Samaritans. We're going beyond good. And the next day they were brought here when we opened, and they were cleaned up and evaluated. And it turns out that Booth had been suffering from a pretty significant ear infection, probably for quite some time. And so we started the process of trying to get that resolved, and unfortunately, none of our treatments worked. We saw several vets. We worked at it for a couple of months because we really wanted to save his hearing, what little of it we thought he might have. And probably about a month and a half ago, we determined that the best course of action for him to really reduce his pain and make him more comfortable was going to be what's called a total ear canal ablation. And so his ear canals were basically removed and his ears sewn up. So what makes him interesting is that he is now deaf. I mean, aside from the fact that he's the sweetest dog ever, right?
Aside from what he lacks in hearing, he has plenty of love to give.
Absolutely, absolutely. He is the sweetest boy. And so that's why he's looking a little naked right now around the neck and the head, because all of his hair is growing back in from the surgeries. He is a very strong dog, and because of the fact that he was a stray and because he now has a complete hearing loss, he's gonna need an owner who is willing to really take that time with him, who's gonna be willing to make sure that all of his veterinary needs are met, and he's going to need someone who is active and strong enough to handle him until he's leash trained.
And where you had mentioned that he's strong and active, someone that is willing to get outside, throw the ball with him, and just have some fun. He's a dog with a lot of energy.
Yes, he definitely is, and he will pull you right along on an adventure. So,
Do we know how he is around kids?
We don't have any specific information about how he is around children, although I imagine, you know, he's a pretty classic lab personality. He does take a treat pretty roughly. So if there are children, we would probably recommend that they not be offering him treats because he does take it very enthusiastically. And he is a bit of a bull in a china shop. But as with all dogs, we really ask that everyone in the home meet with the dog before they go home, and especially if there are other dogs in the home, that they meet with him. Interestingly, because he was brought in with another dog, we think he'll probably do fine with other dogs as long as they're okay with him.
That's great.
Yeah.
Now, it looks like he has a lot of lab in him. Is that what you found as well?
Exactly, yeah. We don't have the resources to DNA test everyone, but it looks pretty obvious to me. Yeah, this is a sweet chocolate boy, yeah.
Now, for folks that maybe haven't had a dog that has been deaf before, is there anything they should keep in mind?
You know, Jay was mentioning before we started that one of the important things is that when he is sleeping, he can't hear anything. That last sort of sense is gone. So when you're gonna wake him up, he's a sweet boy, but just move gently, you know, and try not to startle him awake. So that's going to be something. And then I think an owner is going to have to get comfortable really quickly with some sign language instructions for him so that he can follow. Also, because he's deaf, he has no recall, so he cannot be off leash. He's going to need to be in a completely safely enclosed area or on leash at all times.
But even with it, such an incredibly loving dog, he came right up to me, was just so kind and gentle, and would be the perfect addition to someone's home.
I think so too. Yeah, he's a total sweetheart. Look at this. Oh my goodness. Yeah, he's a total sweetheart. So we are hoping that even with his disability, that there's going to be a family out there that says, oh, there's our dog.
And if that's you, you can come and check out the Bangor Humane Society here on Mount Hope Avenue or your website as well.
Absolutely. Yep.
All right, Catherine, Jay, thank you so much.